Alright, well, I'm the Only Sir Cracker, and that was a quick update. Hey there, this is the Only Sir Cracker, and I'm coming to you from the front yard today. It's the Only Sir Cracker. Guess what? I knew the camera was on the entire time, because I'm having fun with you. Hey there. Hey there, I'm the Only Sir Cracker, and I'm coming to you from my garden once again. So, today, the weather has been beautiful, and not only today, but the forecast says that the weather is not going to go down below about 35 to 40-ish. Basically, summer's pretty much here. Anyway, so I want to touch base real quick, show you what I've got. I've been promising tomatoes for a while now. So I've got this one here. This is called Alaskan Fancy. And when I buy my tomatoes, I try to find the ones that have two separate plants in them, and then I will plant both plants in the ground as one plant, they typically do pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take these bottom sets of leaves off and plant them in the ground. And then I've got some mulch that I'm going to put around them. It's more like grass clippings and that kind of stuff that I'm going to put around to help keep the soil dry, or to keep it wet, sorry. If you look at the soil, it's pretty much all dried out, but you scrape down about 1.5 inches and it's nice and moist. And you know, I've always put mulch or some sort of ground cover on my beds. I've always done that. It helps keep, you know, moisture retention, I believe is what it's called. I had to think for a second. And but I've watched this recently here, and I'm kind of a late bloomer to the whole thing, but I watched this thing called Back to the Garden of Eden. And for me, it's fairly new, the concept anyways. But it's where you put down mulch, either leaves or grass. In that particular situation, they put down lots of wood chips. I don't have wood chips available. I do have lots of grass clippings that I get, and I also get, of course, the natural leaves that fall from the trees. So it's something that I'm going to probably start doing here, is put down grass clippings and that kind of stuff, and just instead of tilling the soil, letting it just naturally decompose and just add more to it each year and plant in that. I'd like to eventually here be able to use wood chips, but at this point in time I don't have means. I probably can get a hold of them, I just don't have any place to put them. And being the fact that I only have, you know, these few barrels to plant in. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get on the planting. So sit back, enjoy. I might just fast forward a little bit, and I probably won't talk. It'll be my first time. I'll try to fast forward through it, and you can watch it in fast motion. That'd be fun, right? Oh, before I do that, okay, so I want to mention I got Alaskan Fancy. I've got another one here called Glacier, which it's a bigger tomato. It's about a 2-inch tomato, or 2 to 3 ounce fruit is what it says, but it's called Glacier. It's supposed to be more like a cherry tomato. And I got a lot of smaller stuff this year, and everything I've gotten this year is new ones I haven't tried before. This one here is called First Lady, which I am assuming is also kind of a cherry tomato. In the past, I've done beefsteak, and I've done early girl, and I've done Romans, and I've done all of the very common, typical tomato plants, but I have kind of decided that I no longer want to do that. I want to try something new and different that I have never done before. So that's what's going on and where we're at. So anyways, I'm going to get on planting. Well, there, friends. That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to it. It's pretty much what I do every year, as I always put some mulch around it. The thing I've been doing, which is a problem, is every spring I've been taking the mulch off and adding it to my compost pile, and taking some of the fresh compost and mixing in, which is fine, but um, you know, I've done not a lot, but I've done some research, and I'm going to do some more here in the future. But first of all, I'm not a big fan of weeding. I don't like to weed my plants, and this it definitely helps to keep the weeds down. You know, this will get wet, and it'll compact a little bit, and I'll add a little bit more, you know, as the plants get bigger and that kind of stuff too. But it does a couple of things. When the weather gets really cold at night, it helps keep the plant and the roots warm, so that you can get a little bit further into the season. And also, if there is, I mean, this is still spring, so you know, first part of May here. I think tomorrow's the 1st of May, so we could get a frost, or at least we could get some, you know, down to freezing temperatures. So just in case, you know, that kind of thing, it helps with that. But here's the thing, I've been doing a lot of research and looking into this. Like I said, I'm going to do more, but this really has a lot to do. The problem is, we've all been taught to double dig your garden and to constantly add stuff to it, you know, and which compost is fine, but you add chemicals and all kinds of things that cause problems to your gardening, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like all the hard work, and I'm kind of lazy, and a lot of other I still consider myself a novice, even though I've been gardening my whole life. But I don't want to weed anymore. I don't want to dig anymore. I just want to plant and enjoy the fruits. Same with watering. I have a concern that, especially in the hot summertime, I might have to water a little bit because this isn't in the ground. This is in 55-gallon barrels, drums. But I'd like to not have to water my plants. If I can get away with not having to water my plants, I would be doing fantastic. And so that's kind of what I want to find out, is if I can get away with not watering. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. Yeah. So, I am the only Sir Cracker, and I'm coming to you from my garden.